Hi guys, this is exactly what Nigel Farage wants for the United Kingdom. So thanks to the internet and in particular TikTok, we don't have to read about how terrible healthcare is in the United States. We can actually hear from people who have or are currently struggling with how messed up it is. It's important to remember that the problem isn't just cost, but how different suppliers will fleece their customers. Yes, in Nigel Farage's ideal world, you aren't a patient, but a customer. Here this lady explains how she was asked almost $10,000 for dental care. Have a listen to this.
So healthcare in America. Today I was quoted $9,600 for the removal of 3 of my wisdom teeth. $9,600. The woman said it was $8,000 for the removal of 3 of my wisdom teeth, and then it was an extra $1,600 for the anesthesia. And I said, okay, how much is my insurance going to cover that? I have insurance. And she said $300 a tooth. Oh, wow, how generous. And I said to her, I said, hey, so my brother had just got his wisdom teeth removed 3 months before me, and he paid $3,300 for everything, no insurance at all. And she was like, oh, well, where did he get that done? And I was like, well, in New Jersey. She was like, oh, well, and I was like, what, is it more expensive because I'm getting it done in New York? And she was like, no, I don't know. So I'm basically like, hey, I can't pay for this. Like, I can't afford this. Can you cancel my appointment? I'm just going to deal with fucked up teeth. I'm going to deal with the pain. I literally cannot afford this. And she was like, well, what if we set up a payment plan? And I was like, okay, well, what would that look like? So then she ran all my stuff. I had to tell her my salary, which yes, it's that low. And I have great credit. Okay, that's the one thing. I have great credit. I may have a really shitty salary, but I have great credit. And they denied me. And then she asked if I had someone who could co-sign. So I called my dad, crying now, actually crying at this point. And he said he would co-sign for me. He's trying to calm me down. We'll figure out how to pay for this, blah, 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 blah. And I hand the phone to her, and she was like, hey, Mr. Your daughter's a little emotional right now, which was super insulting because what do you mean? You quoted me $10,000 for 3 wisdom teeth to get taken out of my mouth. Who wouldn't be emotional at that price? Like, that's a lot of money. So then even with my dad as a co-signer, I got denied. And then she was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, what do you mean? What do I want to do? I told you I can't afford this. And she was like, well, you really need to get this done. And yes, like, I totally understand the urgency behind me getting my wisdom teeth removed. I totally get it. And yet, so basically she was like, I just want you to be comfortable. And I was like, I can't pay that. I'm uncomfortable. I don't think it should be this much money, and I think I'm going to go get a second opinion. And I kept trying to say, like, cancel my appointment, then cancel my appointment. Then and she kept saying, well, no, let's do. And then she kept saying, like, oh, I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be comfortable. There is no world in which I'm comfortable paying $10,000 for the removal of 3 teeth. So I left that place absolutely sobbing because, of course, there's no world in which that is more than a semester at my college. And like, yes, I'm going to call my insurance company. I'm going to look for another opinion, but in no world should I have been quoted $9,600 for the removal of 3 wisdom teeth. That is what it's like, health insurance in America. That's how fucking bad it is here.
I want to say thank you to Megan for sharing this video because I think it's really important. It's very important for people to see this and understand this is the situation in America. This is the situation that Nigel Farage wants to copy and paste into the United Kingdom. Because he's not going to implement it straight away, even if he was in power. But we've already seen the steps taken in order to encourage people to be open to the idea of a health insurance system. First of all, the Tories ran down the NHS. Had terrible contracts when it came to dentistry with NHS dentists. Then lack of funding, along with running it down. And now people are saying the NHS is broken. In 2010, it had a massive amount of support. It was the gold standard in the world. And now people are describing it as an embarrassment. People are avoiding going to hospital because they're afraid that they're not going to get the treatment they need. People are fighting over each other to get access to a GP at 8 o'clock in the morning. So the system is broken, but you don't want Nigel Farage to try and fix it. And his solution, of course, would be an American-style model. Now, he has changed his tune over the last number of years. He was caught on camera talking about an American-style model. He realized that, well, I can't really sell that because it has a lot of negativity connected to it. So let's choose something else, a French style model or something else. Every country has, with the exception of the US, every country has its own model, and those models suit those countries. So a German model couldn't be copied and pasted into Italy, or an Italian model couldn't be copied and pasted into France, in the same way that a French model couldn't be emulated in the UK. There's a reason the NHS is the way it is. There's a reason why it was so popular in 2010, and now it's so unpopular today. But the people who are trying to sell this American-style model will not be concerned with paying £10,000 to get their teeth fixed, or to get 3 extractions here, because they will have the money. Everyone else will struggle. A payment plan to get some dental work done. And we're not talking about massive reconstruction here. We're talking about 3 wisdom teeth. So it's important that we look at stuff like this. It's important that we learn from this, and that people like Nigel Farage, who've been pushing an alternative to the NHS, they're called out on it, because this is an absolute nightmare. Now, I hope that Meghan here was able to get this thing solved. She was able to get a better deal. But this is the canary in the coal mine. What's happening in America when it comes to healthcare is an absolute disaster. And unfortunately, I have this feeling it's going to get worse under Donald Trump. Trump and Farage are great friends, it seems. And whatever Trump does is admired by Nigel Farage. But Farage has supported a change to the NHS, a defunding of the NHS, a replacement of the NHS for a number of years now. And if he gets into power, well, he'll probably go ahead with something like that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.